Hello everyone, I'm back here with another follow-up video for the Cavernhold Fortress. I posted a video a few months ago about me unboxing this. This was a Kickstarter for essentially a organizing case, briefcase, suitcase, travel case, whatever you want to call it, for tabletop board games. I think their main selling point was board games. You can fit several board games inside of this in one go, instead of having to take all the boxes. By request, I've been asked to kind of do a follow-up video to kind of see, how it's worked, how I organize my stuff inside of it, what I've used it for. And I'll absolutely go through, what I've used, what I haven't used, what features have worked well, what features haven't. Really quick overview for those who maybe aren't familiar with the product or didn't see the previous video. So yeah, this is called the Cavernhold. There's the logo there, Cavernhold Fortress. And this is the larger of, I believe, 3 different cases you could get. There was one that was kind of like the medium one, which is called, I think, the Armory. And then there was the small one. And I do also have the small one. It is in here, this one here. I'm not going to review this one too much. This one's pretty straightforward. Essentially, it's a soft bag with a bunch of Velcro. I'll show you really quick. Velcro dividers. And I did use this once. I used this to put code names, Hot Seat, and Wolf, the game of Wolf, in here, which are just kind of like some trivia style games. They all fit in here perfectly. Instead of taking 3 large boxes that are about the same size as this bag, I was able to fit them all in this one bag, and it was great. I really have no complaints about this. I think a harder version of the small case might be kind of cool, but this isn't really the right size for Magic, TCG, or miniatures like tabletop games or whatever. So yeah, this is just kind of a nice. I got this as a bonus accessory for being a backer, so. Probably not something I would have purchased on my own if it wasn't a bonus. Okay, so this is the Fortress. Really quick overview of the features. It has one top compartment above the main compartment that has a bunch of zippered compartments in it. It has some of the accessories in here, which I'll go over in a second. But there's a bunch of zipper pockets here. It has these straps to hold this from flipping open. And then the main compartment has the main section with the dividers. You can kind of set this up with however organization you want with your board games or magic cards or whatever it is you play, and then some more zipper compartments up there as well. Some of the accessories, one of them is these straps, and these straps are for attaching to the bottom here on these 2 lovely little things. From what I've understood, for like a playmat tube, I did do it. I find these straps are a little long, and so I kind of had to. I'll do it really quick as an example. So if you take a playmat tube like this, and you can take the strap. Remember how I did this? I think I did this. It was kind of weird the way I did it. I think I had to, let me just see here. Go like this. And then take the playmat. Oh, you know what? I have to flip this. I have to flip it. There we go. Go like this. And then I kind of had to do this, but I had to do it. It was weird. This seems very, very large for a playmat tube. It's a super large strap because the Velcro is, yeah, there's barely any Velcro touching that part. So I don't know if this was initially designed for something larger. There is a way to do it. I've just forgotten how to do it, and I should have reported that differently. But I had a way of making it so it did work. I did have the playmat tube on here for a while. It was nice, especially when I had to fill this a lot with stuff. But my one complaint about it is that, and it's not really a design flaw, it's just that having the tube thing here, anytime I wanted to set the case down, the tube would be sitting here, and I'd kind of have to like pull it up and flip it up, or else I just keep hitting the tube case down like that, which was quite frustrating, and that was kind of annoying. So I did inevitably take it off. And when the case isn't overly full, I tend to just like lightly fold my playmat and put it in here. But that is one of the features, is that you can put a playmat tube or just a playmat itself or whatever, just come with these straps to put something on the back there, okay? One other function it has, or feature it has, or 2 other features it has. The next one is it comes with these shoulder straps. Now before I was confused because it does come with two. And the reason it comes with two is because you can just zip this up real quick. You can, so you strap the straps here and here on the sides of the bag here, and there's just one D-loop on the top. And so you can actually take one strap and strap it from the D-loop to the side, and take another strap and go from the D-loop to the side, and you can actually have backpack straps. It's not comfortable. It's not really meant to be a backpack. I prefer just having the one strap on either side and having a shoulder strap. That seems to work just fine. I'm not doing hikes in this thing. Yeah. But the backpack strap, you prefer having backpack straps, or you're somebody who physically can't use a shoulder bag for some, due to a disability or something, that is something that you can do with this bag. The very last function, I'm just put these away real quick. The very last function this thing has, or feature I should say, is that before getting into the dividers and everything in the main compartment, the back of the bag does have one of those luggage straps right here, which I have used, and this is quite nice. So if you have luggage, you're going on a weekend trip, or you're flying somewhere or whatever, you can throw this over top of your handlebars of your luggage. And so you have one case that's got all your essentials, your clothes and everything, and then a whole other bag that's just your games, which is great. All right? Okay, so getting into the main part of it. So the context for me is that I'm mostly a Magic Gathering player. You can kind of see there's a pile of stuff that I've gathered over here a little bit that we're going to try and fit in there later. Mostly a Magic Gathering player. I do play board games every once in a while. I tend to not travel with those as much, but those are also things that I'm going to do, that I would use. And I also play a little bit of tabletop. I've recently gotten into Warhammer Kill Team. I brought out my Tau Kill Strike, my custom Tau Fire Strike team that we can fit in here. And those are the features that I'm looking for it. I have used, I don't remember what this exactly is called. This is the Game Genic, basically their quiver equivalent. I've used this. I admittedly use this a lot more just because this is more of a convenient size for if I'm on foot, I'm taking transit, I'm going to a convention, I'm going to have to move around a lot. This is just a more convenient size for that. And so I'm filling this with, 5 or 6 decks, maybe a box with tokens in it. And then a playmat in here, and that works really, really well. So I have that as well. And then the other function is I just use a backpack. I have a pretty big black backpack that I also use. So the context of this is more for keeping organized and being able to kind of because in my backpack everything's going to get jumbled around, it's going to be a mess. Being able to carry a variety of things, and then it just being in a convenient kind of package. So I'll show you how I used it, and I'll tell you right now, I consider myself someone who's a little extreme when it comes to their hobbies and their accessories, at least within my own social group. I like to have all my tools with me, all the things I like to use with me as much as I can. I often have an extra, I'm using the phone to record this video, but I often have an extra phone with me that I use as a life tracker, all kinds of stuff. But this seems to be the layout that I've liked to use. And so we have all these wall dividers. It does come with more. You'll notice that these ones here are shallow. They're shallower dividers. That's a little lower. And then this big one here, and these two here are higher dividers that kind of hit near the surface here that are a little deeper. And the reason I did that is because if I take a deck box, say this one here, sitting like that, they're just hitting the top of these shorter ones. And if I used a tall one, it would be impossible for me to get these in and out without, having to dig in there or whatever, right? If I put it on its side, it's sitting above those walls. It's a little easier to kind of grab and take out. Now, my one complaint about the dividers. First one is that they don't sit always completely straight. I think I figured out the perfect way where they sat as straight as I would like them to be. But in some cases, I've noticed that they'll be on a bit of an angle. So for instance, right now, I've actually done a pretty good job with this sitting square. But often you'll notice that it will taper, and you'll have you'll create a space where one end slightly narrower and one end slightly wider, which sucks when you're trying to fit deck boxes into these compartments, because you'd want the whole compartment to be the same size so you can fit the deck boxes in there. That's my one complaint. The second complaint would be that there is no divider that's long enough that goes back from the front to the back widthwise. All of them are designed to fit. There's one long one that fits from left to right lengthwise. And then if you put it here, maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 notches in from one side, then you have a bunch of these ones that are meant to go up and down or go front to back between the front and this one. Or you can move this over here and have it from the back to that one. So it's a little, when I first experimented with it, it was a little limiting as to how to arrange it. Because when I first thought about this, I kind of wanted to put one long one somewhere maybe here and kind of dedicate one compartment on this side to tabletop and miniatures, Kill Team. And then from that line onward, kind of come this way and add my decks and my magic stuff and all that kind of stuff. But I have to admit something. I haven't actually used this for Kill Team yet. I haven't had a reason to. Mostly because, ironically, within my own social group, our house is the place where most people meet up and play, so I haven't had a reason to travel with them yet. And I also have this pretty convenient little clear plastic case that's also magnetic on the bottom. As you can see, one of them moved a little bit, but you can see that they are magnetized in there. But I will show you how I use this case for my current Magic stuff, and then I'll also try to fit my Kill Team in there, just so you can see the mix and change of it. I do have the magnetic plate at the bottom, which was additional purchase, and I had to add magnets to the bottom of my miniatures to make that work, and we'll go over that later. So, for now, I have a mixture of deck boxes. Most of them are Gamegenic, but I'll kind of go through them. So this is the Gamegenic, I believe these are the 80+ deck boxes here, and I can fit, I'm going to do one there, do one here, do one, where else put these? Put one here, and one here. And these two compartments I made in the middle are pretty good at taking, so I put this is one of the Ultra Pro, I can't remember what they call these ones. This is the Mana 4 series. I just like this one because it was all gold and I thought it was really pretty. So that one's quite large compared to the Gamegenic ones. These are the more recent Gamegenic 100+ deck boxes. They're quite a bit wider, but they'll still fit here nicely. And then I have a couple of Ultimate Guard boulders that will fit there. I have a couple of sets of dice I like to use. Some D6s in various sizes for counters and keeping track of stuff and all kinds of things. I have a massive, so this is why I think I'm a little over the top. This is my deck box that's just tokens. And this has every token that my commander decks will ever use. We're talking elephants for generous gift, apes for Pongify, salamanders for rapid hybridization, you name it. They're all in here, right? So that goes there. And then I have one other little Ultra Pro deck box, old Ultra Pro deck box that just has some extra dice, mostly D20s, things like that, just in case we need countdown die, my phone dies or whatever. And then so that's all my Matter stuff. And then I realized I actually have one little spot left there that I could probably fit another, we'll just check, another Ultra Pro. Yeah, there you go. So I can fit one more Ultra Pro box there. So there you go. So that fills that up, okay? And one thing I was happy about is because I took these low dividers, and these decks fit flat, standing on the right way up, that I was able to have room, I think this fits, that my iPad could basically fit, it's a little tight, but my iPad can fit right there. That could also be a notebook, it could be whatever. This can fit something else that's nice and flat, that just conveniently stores right there, and then there's still lots of space. Okay? Probably asking why I have an iPad. Mostly just because it's a giant life pad, which is nice. Or, oopsies. Or, it acts as, like you can use it for Warhammer and stuff as well, because you have all your stats and all that stuff up here. So yeah, that's how I fill everything. It currently fits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commander decks and some change. Right? if I change this divider a little bit, I could probably fit another one there, especially if I put them in boulders or something. But yeah, what did I say? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 commander decks plus like all the accessories you need. Dice, tokens, another 60 card deck if you want to play some standard or pioneer or something. That's all there. Okay? Now, what I'd probably do is if I was going to take my Warhammer, is I'd probably take out a set of these big deck boxes. And we're just going to try this out. We're going to open up this bad boy. We're going to try putting some of these in here. These are my custom Red Dragon Maple Tau Firestrike team with their custom beige and like maroon or burgundy color scheme with some foliage on them. This is actually too many units for a kill team. I built the entire box, but you are technically supposed to remove, I think, 2 or 3 of these units to actually make the kill team. So you could minus a couple of these units. But there you go. We just fit the entire kill team there. They're all magnetized to that base. Now, I'm going to do a test. This is going to be crazy, but I'm going to do a test. And that test is going to be if I can pick this up and these things don't fall over the place. We'll find out in a minute, okay? We'll find out in a second. Sorry, my monitor keeps falling there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to close this. I'm not going to go violent. I'm not going to go Professor Violent on this. But I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this a little bit. Oh. Okay, all right. Let's see how that did. Wow. Wow, they didn't move at all. Not even these little guys on the posts. Oh, what did move though? Oh, look at that. Okay, so my frame, one of my borders moved. And it's because this probably flexed and allowed it to move. Ooh, that's a shame. I don't like that. I don't know why my monitor keeps falling. I don't know what's going on. Anyways. Huh, interesting. Okay. But other than that, it did a fantastic job. I'm actually really impressed about that. I haven't done that yet. So I feel a little better, especially if I'm going in a vehicle. I think I'd be fine with this, right? Especially if I'm going to do this, I might carry it out like this, and then it's going to lay down in the trunk or a back seat or whatever. Yeah, that makes me really comfortable. Now I'm ready for a whole game night with Magic and Tabletop and all kinds of stuff. Okay, we're going to, as quickly and as carefully as we can, we're going to put these, yeah, see. I'm surprised that they didn't come off their stands, because these stands are, they're not great. These little plastic stands. If anyone's ever interested in playing Kill Team, I know very little, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. If you guys have questions about any of this stuff, about the deck boxes, more about the Cavern, more about what I play, I did kind of mention it earlier, but I do mostly play Commander. I do have this deck box here, and another set of deck boxes I kind of left to the side are all my Pioneer decks, which I've dabbled in a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to, or have the time/budget to. Now we just gotta get my. There we go. Okay, they're back. They're back in their normal case. We can breathe. And we can put these guys back. Yeah. So normally that's what I do. I put my iPad there. There's also a huge pocket here that sometimes I'll throw my iPad inside. I'll just slip that in there or whatever. And then often what I'll do is I'll close this, and then I'll open this side, and I will put my play mats, maybe additional stuff in here. Sometimes my partner will play, and maybe I'm a little greedy and I want to take a bunch of my deck boxes. I'll even fit, there's more room here, you could fit more deck boxes. They'll just be loose, which is the only problem. But I guess one thing I will mention is that if you do use minimal size deck boxes, like if you just use boulders, you could probably fit so much more in here. If you just use boulders, you can probably arrange this so all the compartments are basically like this, and you could probably fit like, what, 2, 4. I mean, you maybe can back this up again too, so you could do like, try to fit 3, and you could do 3, 6, 9, 12. More back there. Like, yeah, you could probably fit so many deck boxes in here. Now, my last and final complaint, and once again, I'll mention, a lot of these are very premium deck boxes. They're padded. They have magnets. All my decks are double sleeved. Like, I'm crazy. Like, all my decks are double sleeved because I don't want them getting damaged. Ironically, I use proxies, but some of them do have some expensive cards in them. And also, like, I just don't want to deal with the unfortunate reality that, you know, something could happen and then you got to print more proxies or you got to buy new cards or whatever. That's just not fun. So, I do double sleeve all my decks. And when this is all together, this is heavy. This is so heavy. I did take it to one Commander event, and I definitely regretted it. It was just too big. And among trying to, like, you know, keep your space small, you're next to another table that's taking a lot of space. I basically sat down with this, like, in between my legs the entire event. And, like, bringing up, you know, and every time I wanted to change decks or whatever, I'd be hauling it up and go, and I'd slam it down, unzip it. This feature was nice. This feature kept it from taking up a lot of space, but I opened this up, you know, I'm grabbing whatever deck I want, and then I'm closing this, zipping it back up, putting it on the ground, and it just felt a little cumbersome. Unlike, say, for instance, the Gamegenic one, where, while this can also, depending on your table space, be cumbersome, I find that with this one, I can open it, and sometimes there's enough room on the side of the table that I can leave this here while I play here, and it's just not as annoying. I don't have to kick it around my feet. All that stuff. Last thing I for mention too is that the one thing I will say that was convenient that I did when I did take it to convention is that you can then put your trade binders in here, right? So I have a few Gamegenic trade binders. I probably wouldn't take all 3 of these, but I usually have, like, you know, this is kind of like my bulk trade binder, and this is kind of like my expensive trade binder, and they fit in there no problem. So I have all of that plus that, and it's all in one thing, good to go. I went on a weekend trip not too long ago, and this is perfect. I brought everything with me. You know, I'm definitely one of the more, you know, prepared and responsible ones maybe in my social group. But when we played, it was really nice because people were like, "Oh, I don't have that token," and I'm like, "I got the token." Like, "Oh, I need dice." I was like, "I got the dice." Like, it was really nice just to have everything there. So if you find that you like having a case to, like, you never know what decks you want to play, so you want to bring a lot of decks with you. You want to be able to bring some other stuff too, board games, tokens, dice, maybe enough to cover for some other people too if you're going on a trip with multiple people and you just let those people kind of bring a couple deck boxes and you can kind of bring this fortress of stuff. Definitely a cool item. So far, nothing's weird, like nothing's wearing or tearing. It feels all really good quality. I actually just noticed I've been using an Ultimate Guard Xenoskin for a while to hold my Pioneer deck boxes. And I just noticed this glue is coming apart here. And I haven't really used that this much. This is just for, like, if you want to play 1v1, I kind of pull this out and play some games. But little sad about that. Maybe if I do that, I can put some weight back down and try to put that down. But yeah, this is the Super Hive, and I like using that for my 60 card decks. But anyways, that is the Cavernhold Fortress. Let me know if you have any questions about it. If there's something you want me to try, I'd be happy to do that as well. Obviously, I'm limited, you know, whether things cost money or from what materials I have, but I'd be happy to do that. Happy to answer any questions about it. I don't remember off the top of my head what I paid for this. I want to say, so I'm Canadian, so I want to say that it was $150 US. I could be crazy. I think it was $150 US. And that was a Kickstarter price that also came, because I was an early backer, it came with the free, this guy, I can't remember what it's called, but it came with this one. Yeah, it doesn't say what it is on it. And unfortunately, this is before tariffs, but even still, I had to pay some like shipping and duties on it, which I think was another around $50 Canadian. So in Canadian, I probably paid close to $250, which is a lot. I think that's a little much. I would have preferred to have just paid the $150 Canadian, but obviously at the end of the day, that's just like my situation being not in the States, and a lot of these companies and a lot of this stuff often coming from the States. But hopefully, if you're watching this, maybe you're in the States, maybe this has gone down in price, since it might be more heavily produced now. I have no idea. I haven't really kept up with their progress at all. I still get their emails, but I haven't looked at all. But yeah, that's their Cavernhold. Again, I've been really happy with it. What I'll say is that I feel like I have all the things I need for the different kite situations I'll be in for Magic. Like I said, it's like, if I'm just bringing one deck somewhere, I'm not going to use anything. I'm just going to put it in a backpack or carry it or whatever. If I'm going to some kind of event, I will use this Game Genic quiver. Again, it's not called a quiver. I'm ripping off the other company. But this. And then if I'm going away, I'm spending a weekend somewhere, I'm going to buddy's place for like a full day of gaming, and I know that I'm going to take an Uber or drive or whatever, this is absolutely the best situation. I wouldn't take it to a convention. I wouldn't take it to somewhere where you know you're going to be moving, because it's just heavy. It's going to be super heavy. This is a weekend thing. This is a day trip thing. This is like, I don't know, even if you're going to go to like the park for the day and like play some games at a picnic bench or on a mat or something like that, that would be more appropriate, because it's something where you just want to go sit down and then not have to move it again, because it gets heavy quite quickly. And I can only imagine that it also gets heavy with these kind of premium deck boxes. I've double sleeved everything. All this material is quite heavy. That there's probably a way you can make this lighter for yourself. But anyways, that is my review on the Cavernhold Fortress. I hope that was informative, and I hope you guys got the information you needed. Again, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer in the comments. I'm also happy to answer messages, or again, if you guys want to follow up video with some other stuff, I can do that as well. Yeah, happy gaming, and I'll see you guys later.